This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first two guests are both here from the Parkinsons Support Group. I have Donna Precourt and Judy Poley. Good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for being here. And Judy, I want to start with you. You are one of the 7.25 million people in the world that have been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
Yes, I am. I was diagnosed in 2010.
Now, what is Parkinson's disease?
It's a disease of the, what do I want to say, Donna?
A neurological
disease that affects each and every person that has it differently.
And one thing, a statistic that you read me before we started, were a lot of people have Parkinson's, but they've not been diagnosed. And why is that?
Usually you have Parkinson's 10 years before you're diagnosed.
Okay.
And a lot of people do not get diagnosed thinking it is some other type of neurological disease.
Okay. And what are some of the first signs of Parkinson?
Personally, my first sign was shaking in my arm.
Okay.
And fortunately, that has not gone any further for me. It's from my arm, from my elbow down. So I've been very fortunate to have it controlled at this time. And foot dragging, weakness, slurred speech are all part of the onset of Parkinson's.
And I can see how these could be misdiagnosed as a bunch of other diseases that are going through my brain right now. So if someone has these things, what's the very first thing that they should do?
They should go see their doctor first, and usually your doctor will suggest that you go to a neurologist. After you go to your neurologist, most people go to a movement disorder doctor, which is very important to go to a movement disorder doctor.
Okay, and what would a movement disorder doctor do?
He is more in depth in this type of illness, whereas a neurologist is full circle.
Okay.
A lot of other things are encompassed with that.
Okay.
So he is more of a, he or she is more of a specialist in this disease.
Okay, and it says start an exercise program,
Absolutely.
Get a nutrition program going, and join a Parkinson's support group.
Absolutely.
And Donna, that's where you come in. You joined the Parkinson's support group because you were a caregiver for a loved one.
Right. My husband had it for 22 years, and it was the last maybe 5 years that it was a difficult time for him. But even as he would attend the meetings, I started to facilitate some of the meetings, and after he passed away, it'll be 2 years this month. He had a congestive heart. But after he passed away, I decided to stay with the support group because I feel I've had enough information to share with other caregivers. It becomes quite a chore as a caregiver. You love the person, but it becomes, difficult sometimes, and so we try to even break away where those who have Parkinson will stay in one room, we'll go in the other room and talk about the problems that come up and how you can handle them. And sometimes they're overwhelming, but we give them ideas. The support is there. In the group, if someone is having a difficult time and you need someone to come and stay with them so that you can get out, we're offering that also. But we're also trying to encourage them to stay involved in their family life and their community life. Right. There's no reason you can't. I mean, your name is the same, you are who you are, and you just stay involved. You will probably have to readjust. Maybe playing cards was one of the things we had to readjust with my husband. We got a board where we could put the cards in there and we could still play cards. So probably one of the things that is most difficult is because their speech gets just a little softer, and some of their friends maybe can't understand them, so they might not visit them as much. But that's when we need our friends the most and our family. when we're having just a little more difficult time.
Okay. Now, Judy, I see you're going to be doing a Parkinson's facilitators training in April. What's that going to be about?
Correct. That's Don and I and my husband Norm will be going down also to Bay City, and it is through the Michigan Parkinson's Foundation.
Okay.
They will have a number of people coming in to speak to us, giving us ideas, talking, doctors will be coming in. And they have also a lot of exercise programs that we are able to see at that time. Tai Chi is one of them. They have boxing, they have dancing, and they will be showing us all of these things that we're able to take part in.
And then you bring those back to your community for your support group.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And we have some good speakers. We just had a physical therapist that helped us on balance from Thunder Bay Therapy, and now we're getting from the Mid-Michigan Health Center there, 3 of them who do the Big and Loud program.
Okay.
And that's become a really strong program to help those with Parkinson's and muscle disease.
Okay. And always need money, always need donations to do all the wonderful things that you want to do with your group. So how do people donate to you folks?
They can just write us a check to our local Parkinson group through either Judy or I. Kids can have a lemonade stand, and we use that money to help our own folks. We have bought some TheraBands that you use for exercising and different things for exercising, or if we need to help somebody get to a doctor's office and they don't have the gas money, we can do that.
Okay.
We don't go out and do a lot of big money raising. We just don't have the ability to get all that done.
Okay. And now, Judy, you wear a pin on your sweater. Tell us about that
Yes.
pin.
This pin is from the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and I was in a clinical trial program when I was first diagnosed with Parkinson's. Before I was on any medication, I was on high doses or placebo of CoQ10.
Okay.
And I was on that program for 18 months.
Okay.
And then in the final end, I was on the high doses of CoQ10, 2,400 milligrams a day. And I feel it helped slow down the progression of my Parkinson's.
Okay. And having someone like Michael J. Fox out there talking about Parkinson's and making it so everyone can see and hear about it, has to be a wonderful thing for all of you folks.
It
Yes,
is.
it's very,
It is.
very
We have a website too that people
yes,
can
please
go
tell us
to.
Alpena
Thanks.
www.alpenaparkinsonssg.
Okay. We're out of time. I want to thank both of you very much for being here, and
thank
thank you
you.
so much
Thank you,
for
Nancy.
getting this training and bringing it back to the wonderful people in our community.
Thank you,
Thank
Nancy.
you.
Thank you. I'll be right back with Thunder Bay Theater following these messages. Hi, welcome back. As promised, my last 2 guests are both from Thunder Bay Theater. I have Emily Samuelson and Michael Leary. Correct? Cleary. I knew I'd get it right eventually. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you for having
And
us.
because you've not been on the show before, I need to ask both of you what brought you to Alpena and Thunder Bay Theater. I'll start with you.
Well, I'm going to say it was definitely this show. I love Rodgers and Hammerstein. I love traditional musical theater, and the prospect of working with Jeffrey and the ideas that he has for this show, it made me come here. I had to.
Okay, so where are you from?
I'm from I'm from Maryland, right close to Washington, D.C.
Okay. And how about you?
Well, luckily I had the privilege of working with Jeffrey and Thunder Bay Theater last summer, and
You guys are really sucking up here.
and I had a blast. And luckily, Jeff offered me a spot to come back this spring, so here I am for round 2, and it's great.
And the show we're going to talk about today is?
Rodgers and Hammerstein's A Grand Night for Singing.
I just love the name. It just sounds so wonderful. So tell me about your role.
So we all play ourselves in this
Okay.
show, essentially, whether it's a heightened or lowered version of ourselves. So the original cast went by their own names, so we're going to be going by our own names. So I'm
okay.
Emily and he's Michael. But if you wanted to put us in a character group, I kind of play the leading lady and you play the leading man.
Exactly.
Okay. So tell me about it. What are we going to see? What are we going to hear?
So the story that we're kind of going with is it's kind of traditional musical theater meets a modern day sitcom. So the music is all of this traditional, wonderful, loving music, but placed in modern times. So there's kind of something for everyone. There's things that the youngins will laugh at, and there's things that the golden age wonders will laugh at too. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great.
And tell me about your role.
Well, like Emily said, I play the leading man in the show, and we each have a variety of songs. We have individual songs, and then we have group numbers as well. And they all explore love and relationships in both the heartbreaking and beautiful qualities of them. So.
Okay. And who are some of the other cast members that are in the production?
Right. Well, we've got Corey Moore, and we also have Haley Aviva, and we have also Erica Werner, who's doing our choreography as well.
Okay. So tell me some songs we're going to hear.
So you will hear It's a Grand Night for Singing. You'll hear Some Enchanted Evening. You'll hear I Can't Say No from Oklahoma. You'll hear How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria, but not in the way you think of it typically.
All right.
So it's just, you'll hear all of these things you're familiar with, but in a sense that you're not so familiar with.
Okay, sounds intriguing. So what's your favorite type of role?
Well, getting to play the leading man is always fun, and so I'm really enjoying doing that right now. But I have to say that there's something about playing the villain sometimes that's really fun too.
Okay,
so,
I bet.
Although I'm not doing that in this run, that's probably what I like to do sometimes.
Okay, now what numbers will you be singing?
My character in particular sings We Kiss in a Shadow, Honey Bun, and This Nearly Was Mine. Those are my character's main solo songs.
Okay, and what about you?
Songs I'm singing?
Yes.
Okay, I am singing Do I Love You Because from Cinderella, all of the leading lady classics. So I sing Wonderful, and I sing Why Is It So Hard to Remember Your Own Pieces? I want to name other people's pieces for some strange reason. What else do I sing in this show? Oh, I sing It Might As Well Be Spring from Allegro, which is probably my favorite song in the whole show.
So are musical roles your favorite type of roles?
Absolutely. I do a lot of classical work as well, but always whenever I can come back to musical theater, it's just like my bread and butter. It's everything to me.
Okay, so you're from Maryland. Did you study theater in Maryland?
I did. I've basically been a performer my whole life. Ever since I was able to step out of the womb, I was singing and dancing and being ridiculous. So I graduated with a degree in musical theater, even though my parents were like, "Are you sure you want musical theater?" And I was like, "Yep. That's what I want."
And how about you, Michael?
Well, I studied musical theater in school, so it's, this is definitely my wheelhouse, or at least I like to think so. And so it's, it's always great to be able to do, what you went to school for and what you've been working for so long.
Great. Okay, so when can we come to Thunder Bay Theater and see A Grand Night for Singing?
So you can see it on this lovely little postcard that I have right here. It's from March 24th to April 9th, and there's a little phone number on here, and you can actually pick these up at the theater if you want to stop by and pick up your tickets and take one of those and hang it on your fridge.
And real important that people know musicals sell out in Alpena, so please don't wait till the last minute. Call, get your reservations, buy your tickets, get there because you'll want to see this, especially Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes.
So what's next for you?
So actually, when I fly back to DC, I step off the plane and go into tech rehearsal for another show. Ooh. Right after that. It's a show called Revolutionary Gentlemen. It's about Benedict Arnold, and it's a new, hip, musical theater, kind of jumping off the Hamilton bandwagon. So that'll be super fun.
And what about you?
I'll be going back to a company in Birmingham, and I'm contracted for Fiddler on the Roof and Newsies in Birmingham. So.
If I were a rich man.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, so wonderful meeting you. And one more time, tell us when we can come to Thunder Bay Theater to see A Grand Night for Singing.
March 24th to April 9th.
And call, and do you know what showtimes are?
They're at 7:30. 7:30, that's what it is.
And then a matinee on Sunday.
At 2.
That's right.
Got
it. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
Wonderful to meet you, and welcome to Alpena, and I hope you enjoy your stay.
We will. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster. I'm president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Trenton Laverne, ACC basketball player and standout student. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, Trenton, it's been wonderful watching you play the last couple of years. Outstanding player, team player, good scorer. reflect, if you would, on your 2 years here and what it's meant to you and what stands out in the experience.
Well, the 2 years here at ACC has been a challenge for me. I mean, the classes I'm taking are a little harder with basketball and everything being so busy, but I've been able to get through it, and playing basketball is just one of the passions I've had since I was a little kid, and being able to continue playing basketball it's been fun for me, and I've had a great experience here, and I couldn't ask for anything else.
That's great. That's great to hear. Why don't you tell the viewers who don't know your academic track and what you're doing and what program you're in?
Well, my academic track right now, I'm studying the 4-year bachelor program here at the college. It's the Electrical Systems Technology. That's going pretty well, and I mean, it's really in depth. I just like how, because electricity is there's so many things to know about electricity, which keeps me interested.
I have to recall I was attending the graduation when you graduated from Alcona, and they asked each student what they were intending to do, and you said you were going to ACC to study the 4-year program. We didn't have one at that time, but it opened up right at the right time for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it was meant to be.
Yeah. And Mr. Lewis is doing a good job?
Yeah, I really like Mr. Lewis. He's a great instructor. I can go ask him any questions anytime I need it.
Yeah. So back to hoop. You're from Lincoln, Alcona. Well, of course, we just are Alcona people, just know it as Alcona.
Yep.
And you have, I've noticed a tattoo on your shoulder that has a number on it, I think 1,400 or slightly more.
1,441.
And that stands for?
That's the all-time career scoring record at Alcona High School.
Outstanding. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
You must have got an early start.
Yeah, I started when I got pulled up by Mr. Coffing, who was the coach, and I was a freshman. I got pulled up midway through the year.
And you had a very fine career, obviously, and some good teams down at Alcona?
Oh yeah, I played with a lot of good players. I mean, each team that I played on, we usually did pretty well, and our conference wasn't, it was a harder conference, but some teams were a little less challenging than the others, but we had our ups and downs through the seasons, but it was a great experience playing for the North Star League.
Good deal. So there's such a difference between the North Star League and that level of play, and the caliber of competition, the style of ball that's played in the Eastern Conference of the MCCA. Could you reflect on that? That had to be a big challenge for you.
Well, it definitely was. When I was starting out as a freshman, I wasn't as strong, and it was, I got beat up a little bit. There's a lot of tough opponents that are, they're a lot stronger and more built, and I figured that out. And when I transitioned to the sophomore year, I started lifting over the summer, and I got myself to be a little stronger, and that way I didn't get bullied out there. You gotta be able to be strong, and it's just a lot more faster paced game, and the physicality is a lot different than high school. Do
you enjoy that style?
I do. It keeps you, because you're constantly moving. Where in high school you're constantly moving too, but the pace of the college game is just a lot more faster, and you got to be on your feet at all times.
I think a lot of folks that come from smaller schools where they haven't played that style, it's a big adjustment for them, because every person you're playing against is a good athlete, and so in some cases a very good player as well. Was that an adjustment for you? Yeah,
you're out there playing with players that are your talent level or in better, so it's definitely challenging, because you watch players that are, like, you look at them and you just see, wow, they got some talent, and they are probably going to move on to the next level after here. I look at it as community college as kind of a stepping stone for some players. It's a great opportunity. Some say it might not be challenging, but once you get out there, you figure out how challenging it is.
Yeah, I'll say. Yeah, you're going up against players with the ability of many D1 programs, I think. There's sometimes they have certain flaws in their game, or their attitude, or their intelligence, basketball IQ, that prevents them prevented them at first from getting there. But there's many players that come out of that conference that go play D1. Yeah. So when you started, and down at Alcona, you were probably like a 3 or a wing player?
Yeah, I I played that position mainly, but I could play all 5. I usually didn't play the point guard too much. We had a point guard all the way through high school, so I didn't need to play the point guard position. I basically just played wherever the coach needed me.
And and Coach McCourt needed you to kind of play a mid-range game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you were doing a lot of work in near the hoop, like from the free throw line on in.
Mm-hmm.
Very physical space in there to score with.
Yeah, I developed they call it a floater, so
yes,
be able to get it over the taller defenders, and it works pretty well for me.
Yes, it does. Was that, where did you learn that?
I actually learned that playing AAU ball, because when the talent level in the AAU programs, I mean, you go against a lot of taller players, so I kind of played with it a little bit, practicing, and I figured maybe I'd try it in the game, and it kind of worked out for me, so I just kind of kept progressing it.
You did, and it was a very effective shot for you, I thought. Usually going to your right and shooting a little bit off to the side with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
Not an easy shot. Most people don't shoot it.
No, it's a tough shot to learn, and once you practice it, it kind of becomes natural.
Very good. And your mom and dad are huge hoop fans. I've seen them at almost every game, home and away, and good players themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And what's it meant for you to be able to play in front of them for 2 more years?
I mean, it's a good thing for them. They support me a lot, and everything I do, they support me. Both them and my grandparents. They are there at every game they can, and I mean, my dad's constantly giving me suggestions on what I should do out in the game, and it's just helpful to know that they're behind me.
Yeah, they are behind you. And yes, I've sat next to your dad, and he's like a dad. He's like it's hard for him not to give you pointers.
Yeah.
And he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So you and the Cole sisters, Karina and Kendra, kind of came out of Alcona right around about the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And Karina was a phenomenal player, and Kendra is a very fine player too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever reflect on, how was it that that small school down there created 3 fine hoopsters?
Well, I think with a lot of it, with Karina and Kendra, when we were going through high school, we would use their church gym a lot, and so the 3 of us and her brother, when he was around, we would just go practice in the gym, and we all had a goal in mind to be standout players in Alcona, and with Karina, she broke the record too at the school, so she had that record in mind, and with me, as soon as I started out, I had the record to get Todd Freet's record from the all-time leading scorer, so just being able to practice, and our mindsets of the game are a lot alike.
That's delightful. That's a great story. So tell me about your future plans. We've got about 45 seconds left.
Okay. My future plans are, I think I'm going to stay here and finish my degree at Alpena Community College, just because I feel like it's the best opportunity for me, and I'd like to continue my basketball career, but you just got to be able to realize that it's time to hang it up and move on to focus on my career.
Well, that's great news that you're going to stick with us 1 more year. I think it'll be a very valuable credential. I think you've done great on the court, and you have a lot of potential as a coach, I would think, if you are interested in doing that. So thanks for what you've done for ACC. We appreciate it. And thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your hosts, Nancy Smitham and Don McMaster. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on the community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.
The Talk of the Town furniture and set design are provided by Young Appliance Art Van Furniture on US 23 South in Alpena.